StudyIQ IAS अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।
Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope your studies are going well and you are holding it strong. UPSC is a long and arduous journey. It will test your patience, but hang on, hold on. This exam is very doable. Just look at the GS Mains Paper 1. Most of the questions that have been asked today, they are on the basis of practical knowledge along with basic knowledge. There has been a lot of emphasis that has been given on current affairs. So current affairs is a very integral part of your entire preparation. Do not at all ignore it. And to help you not ignore it, I am here with my daily current affairs. And that current affairs will help you not only from the perspective of your prelims examination, but also the mains examination. Do not worry about making notes because I provide the notes through the form of PDF on my Telegram channel that is by the name of Pooja Divedi UPSC. If you have any questions regarding this examination, you can also talk to me on my Instagram and follow me on Threads. So these are the various things that we have to cover today. It's jam-packed with facts, information, conceptual clarity. So make sure you watch till the very end. First, let's talk about this practice question. I asked a practice question and whoever has answered it correctly, I will take your names by the end of this class. So the introduction of the scheme, Amrit Bharat Station Scheme, aims to eliminate unmanned level crossings, increase the productivity and efficiency of employees, to enhance and modernize railway stations throughout the Indian railway system or network, and D is all of the above. The Amrit Bharat Station Scheme is envisaging the modernization of 1275 stations that are present across the country of India. And it includes modernization of every facet of the railway stations. So we will go through them for one by one and also understand that option C here, statement C here is going to be the correct answer and not A and B or D. Many of you have answered it correctly. We'll talk about them. The Amrit Bharat Station Scheme has an intention to improve and modernize the railway stations, and these are the upgradation of 1275 railway stations. There is a long-term vision of the ongoing development of schemes that short-term smaller schemes will become a larger vision by the end of the decade, and it will create master plans. Under it there will be a creation of master plan and execution of them in phases. That means master plans will be broken down into different phases. Similarly, that you do with your preparation. You do not go through the syllabus all at once, whatever books you have to cover. You have to go through them phase wise. When we go through anything phase wise, much devotion is given to that phase, much attention, efficiency is given to that phase, and also it will help us achieve the larger plan, that is, of course, becoming a good bureaucrat, becoming a great bureaucrat or a foreign officer or whatever you want to become. There are many things that we have to cover under it, as in the Amrit Bharat Station Scheme. We have to improve station accessibility. That means it should be friendly to the old aged and the disabled or specially challenged. Then waiting areas should be there so that nobody can feel a threat of thieves. Then toilet facilities have to be upgraded so that it becomes safe and secure for the women of the country. Lift and escalator installations are needed as needed. So that, of course, this is a part of the accessibility only. Cleanliness, providing free Wi-Fi, Digital India, establishing kiosks for local products through the initiative of one station, one product. That means whatever commodity is the best in that area will be also provided through these stations. And this is in order to ensure that more and more people know about these products. That means creating employment opportunities for the people who are working for that product and enhancing connectivity among people as well. So this is not just some small scheme. It is a very big scheme. Enhancing passenger information system, establishing executive lounges so that business meetings and it is not only restricted to some metropolitan stations but also goes across. Designating spaces for business meetings, incorporating landscapes catering to the unique need of each station. Next question. With respect to the basic structure doctrine of the Indian Constitution, consider the following statements. The doctrine was pronounced in the Kesavananda Bharati case, which was reconsidered, which which reconsidered the Golaknath case. That means when Kesavananda Bharati case was being taken up, it was to reconsider the Golaknath case. In the S.R. Bommai case, the Supreme Court also held that secularism was a part of the basic structure of the Constitution. The Supreme Court struck down the 99th Constitutional Amendment of 2015 as being in violation of the basic structure of the Constitution. So, how many of the statements given above is or are not correct? What is basic structure doctrine? As it was pronounced in the Kesavananda Bharati case, it came to light. This basic structure doctrine suggests that although the parliament is all powerful, it can take away certain fundamental rights on certain grounds, but it cannot interfere with the basic structure of the Constitution. There are certain things that have been promised to us by our Constitution that cannot be taken away by any law. For example, secularism. Our country can never become a theocratic country like Pakistan or a religion dependent country. It can never be so because secularism is a part of our constitution, our basic structure. However, we wouldn't find the mention of what comprises a basic structure anywhere. There are certain loosely defined things that can be interpreted as basic structure. Basically, the idea is when our country became independent, what did our forefathers envision? How did they aspire this country to be in the future? Did they aspire this country to be capitalist? Money or capital only in the hands of the few? Creating classes? No. Was our country, our forefathers looking at India and thinking about only one religion should be dominant? No, because we were already going through the pain of the partition. So these are the certain things that we have to keep in mind are basic structure, and they can never be abridged or taken away. They can be violative of the constitution, that is why. So yes, this doctrine was pronounced in the Kesavananda Bharati case. And here the reconsideration of the Golaknath case was being done. I will go through the cases one by one as well. In the S.R. Bommai case, correctly, the Supreme Court did say that although the word secularism has not been given anywhere to be a part of the basic structure, but yes, secularism, because our preamble promised us equality of opportunity, not only the preamble but fundamental rights. Article 14 talked about right to equality. There are many articles which give us the privilege and freedom to practice our religion. Isn't that a part of the basic structure? Yes, it is. So second is also correct. First is correct, second is also correct. In 2015, the 99th Constitutional Amendment Act came into being. It said that let's form an NJAC to appoint judges. But this power rests with the judiciary itself, and the executive shouldn't have any hands in this. So, independence of the judiciary is a part of the basic structure of the constitution, because there has to be an institution that has to uphold the constitution at all times. So yes, to answer this question, you must know what was the 99th Constitutional Amendment Act, and then only you can answer this question. If you do not know what it is or what it was, you may not be able to do it. So this is how intermingling of things can occur in your UPSC paper. Not only fact but concept can also be asked. Okay, so first correct, second correct, third is also correct. How many are not correct? None are not correct. Now, recently, the Chief Justice of India did not speak anything outrightly on the basic structure of the Constitution while he was giving a speech, because he said that judgment and pronouncements will speak, so I wouldn't do it. Now, there are 4 cases that are related to the basic structure doctrine. The Shankari Prasad case of 1951. Let's talk about it. The Shankari Prasad case of 1951, here the Supreme Court observed that the Parliament is all powerful, and apart from other rights, apart from other things, it can also take away the fundamental rights. This was the first observance in the Shankari Prasad case of 1951. Then comes the Golaknath case. In the Golaknath case, fundamental rights were put on a higher pedestal. The Supreme Court observed no. Fundamental rights are integral, they are supreme, they cannot be abridged by the Parliament, they cannot be taken away or breached by the Parliament. Then, Kesavananda Bharati case says that the Supreme Court says that we think that the Parliament can take away the fundamental rights or abridge it on certain grounds. But it should not be in violation of the basic structure of the Constitution. Certain things you cannot change away. You cannot all of a sudden change the nature of the Constitution. You cannot all of a sudden change the existence of your country on which it was founded. So these are the certain cases, and then there is Minerva Mills case of 1980. Let's go through them one by one. So Shankari Prasad case, SC opined the power of the Parliament to amend the Constitution under which article? Article 368. That also includes the power to amend the fundamental rights. Golaknath case says that no, Shankari Prasad case doesn't hold water because fundamental rights are given transcendental and immutable position. Hence, the Parliament cannot abridge or take away any of these rights. So, thus, this makes the Parliament reactive. How did it react? It reacted with the help of the 24th Amendment, saying that we can take away certain fundamental rights. Parliament has the power to take away fundamental rights under Article 368. Kesavananda Bharati case comes into existence. A huge constitutional bench, 13-member constitutional bench was formulated. Here, it did uphold the validity of the 24th Amendment Act. Says that yes, the Parliament can take away certain fundamental rights on certain grounds. But these changes should not alter the basic structure of the Indian Constitution. Okay? Then 42nd Amendment Act came, in which it amended Article 368 saying that there is no limitation on the powers of the Parliament. We can also, do not care about the basic structure doctrine. Any amendment cannot be questioned in any court on any ground. That means judicial review was not there according to this particular constitutional amendment. But judicial review is a part of the basic structure. Basic structure doctrine has helped our country to stay true to its roots. That is why it is important. In the Minerva Mills case, Parliament reacted to the above case by enacting 42nd Amendment. I have already told you that. The provision was invalidated by the Supreme Court, stating that the Parliament cannot take away the judicial review because it's a part of the basic structure doctrine. So this is how it has all evolved. However, we do not know where the Supreme Court has not given anywhere that this is the list, that these are the part of the basic structure doctrine. But we have to interpret it, such as supremacy of the Constitution is supreme, rule of law will prevail, sovereignty, liberty, republic, nature of Indian polity, judicial review, harmony and balance between fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. There should be a separation of power and the federal character. That means states and the union territories and the union government should work together. Parliamentary system should prevail, rule of equality, integrity and unity of the nation, free and fair elections, powers of the Supreme Court under Article 32, 136, 142, 147, power of High Courts under Article 226 and 227, limited power of the Parliament to amend the Constitution, welfare state, freedom and dignity of an individual. Alright. The Secretariat of the African Union is situated in Egypt, Zambia, Ethiopia, South Africa. African Union, as it has become a part of the G20, it has a lot of work to do in order to integrate properly the G20 or the group of 19 economies plus the European Union under the presidency of India admitted the African Union. The African Union is actually a group of 55 African nations. There are certain African nations that are right now suspended because of the coup that is going on in their countries. But this union came into existence in 2002 and it is a successor to the Organization of African Unity. Also, its secretariat is in Addis Ababa, which is in Ethiopia. So keep all this in mind. Option C is correct over here. With respect to the Unified Portal for Agricultural Statistics, consider the following statements. It has been developed by the National Informatics Center in association with Niti Aayog, because who develops it is also a very important question that could be asked. It will address various challenges which includes lack of standardized data, lack of verified data and dispersed data. The data will be updated every 15 days. So how many of the statements given above is or are correct? See, whenever new portals are developed, certain things you have to keep in mind. Who developed it, what it will do and how it will do it. So remember, when you answer these particular questions, you will start to relate with such questions. All right. So it has been developed by the Ministry of Agriculture and not National Informatics Center. No association with Niti Aayog. However, it was launched recently by the Niti Aayog. First statement is incorrect. It will address challenges that are related to data. We have to make policies as bureaucrats. So what do we need? Data. Our policies should be data driven or not. If you do not have data, how will you develop policy? Your policy will be blindsided. So that is why the challenges of lack of data, dispersed data, that means data is not available at one place but many places, and also verified data, if that data is correct or not. All these challenges, yes, it will be taken care of by the Unified Portal for Agricultural Statistics, and the data will be updated on a real-time basis, not 15 days, so that researchers can make policies quicker. As and when it is happening, it is being updated on the portal. So first incorrect, second correct, third incorrect, one only will be the correct answer. The center has launched the Unified Portal for Agriculture Statistics. It is an online platform to manage agricultural data, has been developed by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, and users will benefit by reduced search cost and frictions in access to credible, granular and objective data. That means in order to search for data, many people can also invest money in this. But if the government is providing the data which is granular in nature, even the smallest of the microscopic data is available with us, then that will reduce our cost. Other important initiatives which will be digital in nature will include Krishi Decision Support System, Farmer Registry and Crop Survey. It will all work in an integrated management. The platform is designed to generate crop estimates, also remember this, and integrate with other systems generating agricultural statistics. Price, trade, procurement, stock, everything will be provided. So a good statement based question could also be formed with the help of this. It will address certain challenges with respect to data. I've already told you this. Also, I have told you that it will be provided in a real-time basis. This will help us make decision on a data basis. Consider the following. It will be fully funded by the union government. It will provide skill upgradation, which also involves basic and advanced skilling. It includes toolkit incentive of rupees 35,000 and it aims to keep the age-old tradition, culture and diverse heritage alive. How many of the above are the features of PM Vishwakarma scheme? So on the Vishwakarma Jayanti, that is tomorrow, the Prime Minister will finally launch the Vishwakarma scheme, and the Vishwakarma scheme will be applicable to craftspersons who belong to both rural and urban area. Keep this in mind because UPSC can ask us that it will be available only for rural or urban area, for both. 18 traditional crafts or 18 traditional workers will be included. Different classes are there. I will make you go through them one by one. Also, it will be fully funded by the union government. The responsibility of funding this Vishwakarma scheme is with the union government and not on a basis of state is to union. Okay, so please keep this in mind. Also, it will provide skill upgradation which will not only be basic but advanced. A UPSC question, confusing one, could also be formulated and will only provide basic upskilling. No, advanced also. It includes toolkit incentive of rupees 15,000 As and when one begins, a toolkit will be given and that will cost around up to 15,000, not 35,000. This is not there. And what is the achievement? What is the aim of it? So that the Guru Shishya Parampara, that means if a traditional craftsman is working in their home and they're also teaching it to their child and they may carry it forward to their other generations, it will strengthen this as well. Because of the lack of proper financial support, sometimes certain crafts, not certain, many crafts have never seen the sunlight of the next day. Why? Because they did not have enough money to continue the traditional work. So first is correct, second is correct, third is not correct, fourth is correct. All three, sorry, here it should be three only and here it should be all four. All three, no, three only will be the correct answer. Alright. So on the occasion of the Vishwakarma Jayanti, I have told you that it will give support to the people who are engaged in traditional crafts for both rural and urban. Okay, and PM Vishwakarma scheme will be fully funded by the central government. The outlay, remember outlay could also be asked, 13,000 crores. The Vishwakarmas, whoever is in this scheme, will be registered through the Common Service Center and that will be made available through the biometric based Vishwakarma portal, PM Vishwakarma portal. They will be provided recognition through certification and ID cards. Skill upgradation will be done. Toolkit incentive will be given of rupees 15,000. Collateral free credit support. That means you do not need to keep anything mortgage of up to rupees 1 lakh in the first tranche and second tranche we have 2 lakh. Total loan support could be given. Total credit support would be 3 lakh. And that will be at a concessional rate of 5%. Incentives will be given for digital transaction if people are using UPI and marketing support. The scheme aims to strengthen the Guru Shishya Parampara. I have already told you about this. 18 traditional crafts will be covered. How many? 18. How many? 18. Remember. Carpenter, boat maker, armorer, blacksmith, hammer and toolkit maker, locksmith, goldsmith, potter, sculptor, stone breaker, cobbler, mason, basket man, broom maker, coil weaver, doll and toy maker, barber, garland maker, washerman, tailor and fishing net maker. Okay, let's move ahead. Yes, P2I batches are beginning from today, 6 p.m. onwards. And please make sure that you take admission in the long-term batch for UPSC 2025. If you are not getting any support from the perspective of UPSC examination and you want to prepare for 2025 because this is the correct time for beginners, do that. And this is available in Hindi, English and English. According to your own suitability of language, you can be a part of any one of the batches. Also make sure that you use the code PDLIFE so that you can get it at a discount, and the discount would be from 70,000 to 35,999. Everything is included, not only GS for prelims, means and interviews, but also CSAT, ethics, essay, many other things. And the classes will be from evening, live classes. You will be able to interact with the teachers. Consider the following statements with respect to the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners bill of 2023 that is going to taken up in the special session of the parliament, because it has already been passed in the Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is going for a 5-day sitting and this entire process will take up this particular bill. It proposes to revise the salary, allowance and service condition of the Chief Election Commissioner and the 2 election commissioners to bring it at par with those of the Cabinet Secretary. Statement 2 says, this could bring the election commissioners under the ambit of the bureaucracy, which in turn could stifle their authority and independence. So we have to choose the correct answer from these. Yes, if we talk about this particular bill, it says that now the salary, allowances and service condition of the CEC and the 2 election commissioners will be at par with the Cabinet Secretary. Earlier it was, if I talk about the current system, earlier it would be when this bill is passed in the Lok Sabha, which is going to happen. See, earlier, I'm talking from the futuristic perspective, the salaries, allowances and everything, perks also were at par with the Supreme Court judges. And Cabinet Secretary also has almost the similar pay as a Supreme Court judge. But Supreme Court judges also get certain extra perks such as domestic help for lifetime, drivers. But this would be a slash down. That is not our major concern. Our major concern is because Cabinet Secretary is a part of the bureaucracy. When CEC and ECs will become a part of the bureaucracy, wouldn't their performance get impacted or not? because now they will be a part of the bureaucracy. Now they won't be treated like independent authorities like the Supreme Court judges. So yes, first is correct, and because first, because of first, second is being impacted. Because it is going to be at par with the cabinet secretary, the CEC and the two election commissioners, it will stifle their working. So statement 1 is correct. Both the statements are correct. Statement 1 is the correct explanation of statement 2. The special session of the parliament will see this particular bill to revise the salary, allowances and service condition of the CEC and the two ECs and bring them par with the position of the cabinet secretary. And this move seeks to bring an election commission under the ambit of bureaucracy. And this will be, of course, done by repealing Election Commissions Act of 1991. However, Article 324 says that the EC's Election Commission's primary task is superintendence, direction and control of election. However, this control is likely to shift to Election Commissioner, who will now be equivalent to Cabinet Secretary and tries to discipline a Union Minister for an electoral violation. However, Article 324 Clause 5 says that a Chief Election Commissioner can only be removed in the manner similar of a Supreme Court judge. So it is yet to be seen, will there be a constitution amendment or not, amendment to the constitution or not. A committee of the Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, the Lok Sabha, and the cabinet minister who is nominated by the PM. This committee will nominate the who would become a chief election commissioner or election commissioners. So I have one question for you. Does this violate the basic structure or not? Please answer this question in the comment segment. And the biggest thing is that it will not comprise of the Chief Justice of India as the member. With respect to the ICMR's MBSL 3, consider the following. It is the first biosafety level 3 containment mobile laboratory in South Asia. In the entire South Asia, this is the first one. It was established in 2022 and was created to investigate new and emerging and re-emerging viral infections. So which of the statements given above is or are correct? Both the statements are correct. Both 1 and 2 will be the correct answer. Now high-level teams from the center and ISMR and IV with mobile units equipped with BSL 3 laboratories have reached Kozhikode. Because why? Because you see that Nipah virus is already there and they have to send the samples time and again to the National Institute of Virology. With this particular mobile laboratory, they now do not need to send these samples, time and again. And they would get early information about the impact of viral infections. So this is the first biosafety level 3 containment mobile laboratory in South Asia. And it will significantly enhance early testing and detection of infections at the district level, which eliminates the need to send samples time and again to the NIV. And it was established in February 2022 to look into emerging and re-emerging viral infections. Now this is a practice question for you all. Reduction of redundancy and savings, foreign exchange earnings, global acceptance and streamlined export process. So how many of the above are the advantage of India becoming an international organization of legal metrology certificate issuing authority? You have to answer it in the comment segment. Let me take the names of those students who have already answered my last question correctly. And please do that for this as well. Option C is correct. And Riya, Simran, Vaibhav, Piyush, Prabhat, Siddharth, Padmashri. Okay, thank you, Naveen. Abhishek, Ritu, Raj, thank you so much, Raj. Arpita, Harshit, Shantanu, Mandeep, Sanjay, Priyadarshan. Yes. No, Anjani. Anjani, it's actually C, not D. Alright. Mansi, Hobo, Anfas, Utkal, SAN. I don't know how is it pronounced. San. Omkar. Also Neeraja. Aditya, Yash. You all have answered it correctly. Answer this one as well. Okay. Thank you so much.
StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।